Oh man, alright, you guys ready for easy week one? Yep. Not worried for a second. Yeah, Titans. We're playing the worst teams in our division. No way we can mess this up. Yeah, and I'm going back to my old team to absolutely crush them. They have no shot. What the heck's their deal? Should we be worried about that? Nah. Alright, what a week one of football. This power rankings for going into week two was just insanely difficult. I had so many adjustments while I was doing this, and it took me forever. A lot of big jumps. I mean, we're talking like average of like probably like 5 up and down on this thing. I mean, let's just get into it. We're gonna go. There's a new number 32 team, and that is the New York Jets. All right, this team, they're terrible. I mean, there's no doubt about that. They moved down 6 spots. Okay, I had them way higher last week, but this week they just show no improvement. Granted, they got Joe Flacco, but I mean, how good is Zach Wilson? I don't know. Joe Flacco, I mean, they stunk it up. I mean, he had a QBR out of 100, 15.4. Overall, though, the Jets, they stink at 31. The Jags, look, they stink. Trevor Lawrence threw a pick. 1 touchdown, 275 yards, QBR of 48.4. The backfield, I really thought Travis Etienne would kind of take over. You know, him and Lawrence had that connection in Clemson. Christian Kirk, he got the big buck, 6 catches, 117 yards. And defense, Trayvon Walker, he had his first official NFL sack. I don't know, not too effective. Jags, they got a long way to go. They're 31. All right, coming in at number 30, the Falcons. Look, good first half. Solid first half. They did not look that bad. Defense was getting all over Winston. Offense, Mariota was moving. Oh, sorry, I'm choking up here. But like always, second half comes around and they just blow a lead. I've seen it won way too many times. I don't know. I don't know what to think highly of the Saints here for coming back or just that much worse on the Falcons. I don't know. But they're number 30. A lot of these teams that people said were worse, that I should have had the Falcons above them, I mean, they won their games. And this one, they should have won. And once again, they blew it. So we'll see how they do in the future. At 29, the Carolina Panthers. NFC South. Garbage. Look, the Panthers, that game stunk. They could not move the ball until they eventually kind of started to rally back in the fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield, terrible. Dude fumbled it like 4 times. Christian McCaffrey finally played. He had 10 carries, only 33 yards and a touchdown. I mean, they normally use him in the receiving game, but he only had 4 catches, 24 yards. You know, the Browns kind of kept him in check, as they should. They have a good defense. And then Carolina's defense didn't do much. I mean, no picks, you know, they only had 1 sack. They're a team that I just see no promise for, so. But they rallied back. They were like a field goal away from winning it, so I guess they're just 29 for right now. At 28, the Texans. First team to move up. They tied with the Colts. That whole division is, I mean, terrible. None of them have an official win yet. Davis Mills threw for 240, 2 touchdowns, no picks though. You know, he's taking care of the ball. Damian Pierce, the dude was not used like I thought he would. I thought he was the number 1, and yet they got Rex Burkhead taking all the carries. What's that about? And Brandon Cooks, the leading receiver. That's about all they got. They got Nico Collins in there now, but the team doesn't have much of anything. Defense, they sacked Matt Ryan twice, picked him off once. Now, Derek Stingley Jr., the rookie, was pretty much going to be on Michael Pittman, who actually went off. Dude had 90 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Texans right now, 28. I can see them being lower, though, as time goes on, but it's week 1. We'll see. I don't know. 27, Chicago Bears. This is a team I had at 32 going into the season, but they won. And I know it was a mosh pit out there, the rain and whatnot, but look, they beat the 49ers, who I think highly of. I don't care what the weather was. You got to go in there. You got to win the game. But Chicago's roster, I mean, just looking at them even when they were playing. I mean, Dante Pettis. I didn't even know this dude was still around. And he's catching a bomb out there for 1 catch, 51 yards, which went for a touchdown. There's not much I could even say about this game. I mean, the weather was a huge factor, but Chicago won, so I got to give them some respect for that. So they're 27. And next up, we have the Seahawks. Another team that moved up 4 spots. I guess week 1, I know crazy things happen, but this was stupid. I mean, this is the game that knocked me out of my survivor pool, along with probably thousands out there. Geno Smith, he looked pretty good out there. I mean, he threw 23 for 28. 2 touchdowns, and the main thing is he took care of the ball. No interceptions. Receiving, I mean, they were going short a lot. DK Metcalf had 7 catches, but it was only for 36 yards. Run game was mad. I mean, Penny took, bulk of the carries. He had 60 yards. Defense held their own. I mean, Jordan Brooks do let in tackles, I'm pretty sure, last year. This game, he had 10 tackles. The thing that won them this game, though, was the turnovers by Denver. They fumbled it, within the 5-yard line twice. This game should have been just gone. Denver should have just run away with it. But no, they blew it. They blew it for themselves. Seattle won, got the upset. Congrats. I still think you guys aren't good, but hey, for this week, we moved you up. 25, Tennessee Titans. Look, I was down on the Titans even going into the season. I think they blow, and they lost A.J. Brown. Ryan Tannehill, I mean, he didn't have the worst game. 3 for 266 and 2 touchdowns and no turnovers. I mean, the Giants defense kind of showed up. They didn't do bad. I mean, they kept Derrick Henry in check. He had 21 carries, but just 82 yards. You keep Derrick Henry under 100 yards, I think that's a win for you. But receivers, Robert Woods, their number 1. He was 6 in receiving. He had 1 catch for 13 yards. He was only targeted twice. Tennessee's going to have a rough year. That whole division, that might be the worst division in football this year, is the AFC South.
All right, at 24, the team that beat them, the Giants. Again, the Giants didn't look good, man. The defense held their own, kept Derrick Henry under 100 yards. Saquon Barkley, welcome back. I mean, he literally carried that team on his back yesterday. Did not see that coming. Kind of thought he was washed up. They were kind of sloppy, though. Daniel Jones fumbled once, and then Saquon even fumbled once. He recovered it, but still, though, it was a little sloppy. I don't know. You guys look better than the teams below you. So, at 23, the Lions. He stayed put. Look, the Lions fought back. I like their roster. They're up and coming. Are they going to do any damage this year? No, but they're going to pull off some upsets. At 22, the Patriots. Oh, it's tempting to not even have them lower, but I think the Patriots are going to just blow. The Dolphins handled them. I mean, it wasn't a blowout by any means, but it didn't look good. Mac Jones had some back issues. He threw a pick. He had a QBR of 9.7 out of 100. Defense, I mean, they got 3 sacks, no picks. They lost J.C. Jackson last season. I just think this is a team, even with Bill Belichick as their coach, I just don't believe in them that much at all. At 21, the Dallas Cowboys. Wow, did they stink. Dak Prescott, don't even talk about the injury. He didn't get injured till later, and everything beforehand, he sucked. He blew. Receiving game. CeeDee Lamb. I've said it before, I'll say it now. He is not a number 1 receiver. I was not a believer going into the season. I'm not a believer now. The dude led the league in drops, I think, last season. He dropped a few yesterday. He had an offensive pass interference call. Dude only had 2 catches for 29 yards. Dallas, my bold prediction was that you guys wouldn't even make the playoffs. And you know what? I don't even know if that's too bold anymore. Going into the top 20. The Commanders. Which should be a up 5, not a down 5. It's so weird having them move up. I guess I just didn't even notice that. A lot of people might say it's high, but look at the teams below them. They could beat any of those teams. At 19, we have the Saints. I don't even know what to think about them. The Saints looked absolutely terrible in the first half. Then the second half, they just came to life. Honestly, mainly in the fourth quarter. Jarvis Landry, 7 catches, 114 yards. And Michael Thomas. Dude couldn't do anything. And then again, last quarter, he clutched up. He got 2 touchdowns. I don't know. The Saints have a good defense, in my opinion. Offense, I think Winston's going to hold them back big time. But this is a team, I don't know what to take away from that game. I really don't. At 18, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Moved up 2 spots. TJ Watt, big concern. Apparently, he will be back, though. He's only going to miss maybe 4 to 6 weeks. That's huge. Defense played lights out. Best defense of week 1. No question. Offense, though. Complete opposite end. Offense, they cannot move the ball. Offensive line blows. Mitch Trubisky, he held his own, though. I mean, he only got sacked, I think, once for how bad that line is. He got us into field goal range in the end when we needed to. They beat the Bengals, who stomped on us last year. Props to them. They move up 2 spots. Offense, though, still a big concern. And at 17, insane, I have the Browns. I want to put Pittsburgh ahead of them, but Nick Chubb running for over 100 yards. Their defense is good still. They have a great defense. Offense, Brissett, he's not great by any means. I'm not saying he is, but they beat the Panthers. If they didn't, I would probably have the Steelers above them. But just because of the offensive line that they have, the run game that they have, and the defense that they have, I still have them just a little bit ahead of them. I still hate you, Cleveland, so don't get too carried away here. At 16, Arizona. Wow, did this team blow. Now, they played an insanely good team in the Chiefs. Kyler Murray only threw for 193, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 29 yards. The leading receiver was Greg Dortch. Your defense looked bad. Offense looked bad. Even off the field, Cliff Kingsbury needs to go. He needs to go. I just think this team's going to struggle big this year. At 15, the Colts, who tied with the Texans. I have the Colts at 15. The next one up in that division is the Titans at 25. I mean, that division, I think, is the worst division in football this year. Pittman is his guy. He did great. 9 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor did his thing. 31 carries, though. That's insane to me. 161 yards for 31 carries. Running backs cannot do that every single week and without getting banged up. I think that's way too much on him. You guys got to come out with the W that game, especially against the Texans. Come on. At 14, Miami Dolphins. Played against a terrible team in the Patriots, but it's a divisional game. And Tua did good. He had a 78 QBR out of 100. 270 yards, a touchdown, no picks. He kept care of the ball. They had no run game whatsoever. That's a little concerning. Tyreek Hill, Joe, and Waddle did what people expect. They did just fine. At 13, Green Bay Packers. I love seeing Aaron Rodgers struggle. I hate this man. He is nothing without Devontae Adams. That showed. I was big on Packers defense, but even they didn't show up. Look what Justin Jefferson did. And for whatever reason, Jair Alexander wasn't even covering him most of the time. He was mainly in the slot going up against Osborne. They're going to struggle. I'm a big Minnesota believer. This is their year to get that division. At 12, we got the 49ers. They moved down 5 spots. They lost to the Bears. And again, you can say the weather, but hey, that's part of the game. For how bad the Bears are, you guys got to go in and win that game. At 11, we got the Raiders. Man, they played good against the Chargers, man, but Derek Carr lost them that game big time. He had 3 picks. He missed Devontae Adams on that streak. He should have had a touchdown there. But then, I mean, defensive-wise, they could not put that much pressure on Herbert. No sacks, no QB hits. They held their run game in check. But again, Derek Carr is sloppy, dude. 3 picks. You fumbled it twice. You're just not going to win that way. Man, I'm going to get some hate for this one, but I still got the Broncos, number 10. I know they lost to Seattle. People are saying Russell Wilson didn't look that good. He was a little off at times, but I disagree. The man threw for 340 yards. Sacked twice. He was like hit 10 times. Dude's running for his life back there. It was taking time. I mean, he didn't even target a receiver for the first couple drives. It was just all tight ends and running backs. He overthrew some guys, but eventually he started hitting his receivers. Judy had a good game. Sutton had a good game. He was converting 3rd downs. He was taking them down the field. But then you have Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon fumbling inside the 5 in the red zone. You're going to lose. Don't put this game on Russell Wilson. You fumble those balls, that's it. They should have put this game away in those 2 possessions. Clock's winding down, 4th and 5. You put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands. You do not kick a 64-yard field goal. You guys got to be better than that. At number 9, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. They look good. They look good. I mean, Jalen Hurts, his MVP odds went from like 2,400 to like 1,600 or something. He ran for almost 100 yards. A.J. Brown went off over 100 yards. Miles Sanders had 96 yards himself. I don't know what happened on defense. I mean, they let up a touchdown a quarter. I think they just maybe took their foot off the gas. I like the Eagles a lot. They should blow away in this division, especially with the Cowboys the way they are now. At number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, that was one of the craziest games I've ever watched. And Joe Burrow, I mean, you had off games like that last year. I think you're ball out still. I don't think you're going to be that bad. But dude, 4 picks. I mean, you're going against the best defense in football last week. I mean, they dominated the heck out of you guys. But you also got sacked 7 times. You guys spent over $100 million on that offensive line in the offseason. Maybe it takes some time to click, but you got sacked 7 times. In this AFC, games like that, you guys are not going to get too far. And at number 7, the Baltimore Ravens, a team that I think is going to win this division. Look, they're one of the few teams that they went in against a bad opponent and they did their business. They won. I want to see how they do against the Dolphins next week, but this is my division winner. At number 6, the biggest jump on this list, the Minnesota Vikings. I am a big believer in the Vikings. I should have had them up higher in my week 1. They took care of the Packers. I love their new coach. I think Zimmerman was holding them back. They got that offensive coach now. I think they're going to move that ball all season. This is a team that is an NFC contender. They're an NFC threat, and I like them a lot this year. Top 5, I still got the Rams at number 5. They did not look good against the Bills whatsoever. I'm not going to knock them that low yet, though. Stafford, he's got that injury. He doesn't look right. Jalen Ramsey, you need to start looking like yourself. You look like a retired player out there. That's the biggest concern, is when that defense didn't show up. At 4, the Chargers. Yes, they won, but the teams above them looked more impressive to me. The Chargers, just like last season, they have leads, and then they slowly get rid of it, and the games become close. Justin Herbert did great. No turnovers. 3 touchdowns. Chargers, great team. Raiders is a great team. They won that game. They're a tough opponent this year. At number 3, the Bucks. I mean, they look good. Tom Brady still has a laser of an arm. Leonard Fournette, he is the running back. This offseason, people were concerned. I never was. The dude had 127 rushing yards yesterday. Receivers, Julio Jones is starting to look like Julio Jones did more in that game than he did all last year with the Titans. Defense, phenomenal. They were pressuring Dak the whole game. They're definitely an NFC contender, no doubt. At number 2, the Chiefs. You want to talk about a dominant win. They just handled Arizona. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he showed that he could do it without Tyreek Hill. Mahomes had a 94 QBR out of 100. Dude played phenomenal. 5 touchdowns, and he spread the ball all around. Juju, leading receiver, but dude, you got to stop fumbling the ball, okay? You do that, you'll be just fine. Chiefs haven't lost anything. They're just fine. They look like a dominant team, but a team that looks more dominant, Buffalo Bills. They took care of the Super Bowl champs. Josh Allen looks like an MVP candidate. He did throw 2 picks, though. The Bills look good, but they did have some bad moments in that game. Allen threw 2 picks. James Cook fumbled his very first touch. But the defense, I mean, they had 7 sacks and they didn't blitz once. Do I think Buffalo will be this dominant all year? I do not. Again, they had a lot of turnovers. The Rams just couldn't do anything. That is it. Crazy week 1. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with. Let me know your top 10 down in the comments. I'm excited for week 2, but please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.